What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. I've got a little video for you here, and then we're going to live stream on this channel later tonight. So if you want to hang out, I'd love to have you. It would appear that Disney has accepted the fate that box offices just aren't ever going to be the same. I've often talked about how I believe that there is a significant group of people, that number continues to grow as I see more and more data, that just will never go back to the movie theaters. This, on top of the widespread availability of streaming on demand, also eats a huge chunk out of people that will never go back to the theater. There are movies that I want to support the theater for. I want to go see in the cinema. Nicolas Cage's Pig was one of them. Excellent movie, I believe. But now, for movies like Cape stuff, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, or whatever, yeah, I'll consume them. Because mostly I have to know what I'm working with when I'm covering these stories. But I really have very little interest in paying to go to the movies to see them. I have this general indifference to a lot of films. And so if I have the opportunity to watch it at home, I'd just rather do it. It's way cheaper. Sometimes, in some cases, it's absolutely free. And, that's, I think, the feeling that a lot of people have. With Shang-Chi now set to completely flop with a disastrous $35 million opening, Disney's kind of panicking a little bit. Now, we have an interesting test going on right now with Free Guy, which is another Disney film that they didn't have, I guess, all the rights to, because I think it was a 20th Century Fox film. They acquired Fox, but certain things were in place. I don't know all the intricacies of it, but they couldn't do day and date release. If Free Guy was available to stream from home, I would have watched it. I wouldn't pay $30 for it. If I'm paying $30, I'm going to the movie theater. But a lot of people disagree with me. Millions of Americans paid $30 to watch Black Widow, or people across the country, I suppose, or the world. But Free Guy just released, and I suppose we'll have more data on Monday, but it has a $26 million box office top spot. I mean, I guess. And this is a movie that is universally well-reviewed. It's a fun, apolitical movie. It's a kind of movie that America needs right now. It's a kind of movie that Fast 9 would be. It scored $10.5 million on Friday in theaters, $13 million to $16 million throughout the weekend. We'll put it at $26 to $30 million. Not great. But, of course, The Squad and Jungle Cruise and movies like this didn't do very good either. Now, Don't Breathe 2 is also out. Also looks like a pretty good movie. I thought Don't Breathe, the first one, was very, very good. But now, Shang-Chi is projected to flop with $35 to $55 million opening. I mean, I don't know anybody that was going to be surprised to hear that, because, I mean, no disrespect to Shang-Chi. By the way, it looks like a generic action film. But Shang-Chi just isn't, Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man or even Thor. I'm actually really interested to see what, Thor is going to do at the box office. I still think even Thor will be muted. Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings is looking to open to a very soft, meager $35 to $55 million opening weekend. This is a movie, again, that has a massive budget, I am sure. It's bad for a Marvel movie. Lockdowns are not. It's stark contrast to the media claiming that Shang-Chi would make box office history and could be the next Black Panther just a few months ago. For comparison, Black Widow raked in $80 million at the box office, and reportedly another $60 million from Disney Plus Premier Access. So Shang-Chi, the next movie in Phase 4 of the MCU, is rumored to be pushed back or simultaneously released on Disney Plus Premier Access, but Disney CEO Bob Chapek confirmed yesterday that Disney is still planning a theatrical-only release window. We think it's going to be an interesting experiment for all of us. It only has a 45-day window, Chapek said in the Walt Disney Company's earnings call. Without a Chinese release date, and they're not going to get one, it would seem that Disney knows this one is potentially a mulligan and is willing just to take the L. Essentially meaning they're going to say, all right, well, we know it's going to tank, so let's at least collect some good data, which It's smart. It's what I would do. Um, Obviously the coup will likely be blamed, but Disney refuses to move the movie as Sony has done with Venom 2. There's been a palpable lack of interest in both Shang-Chi and the Eternals. Both are based on relatively obscure Marvel comic books that the general public has little knowledge of. That, to me, was the weirdest thing about Phase 4. I just didn't understand what the heck they were thinking. It's like the classic angry video game. What were they thinking? Like, yeah, okay, I'm not saying that Shang-Chi doesn't have fans, but I mean, or even the Eternals. Like, are you kidding me? You could go and talk to any millennial or boomer, really, and they're going to know who Thor is, who Black Widow is, probably. Obviously, Spider-Man. You have, Iron Man, Incredible Hulk. Everyone knows that. I bet you less than 5% of people on the street would be able to name a single Eternal, or even really know that it's a Marvel property. So I thought that was the weirdest, most idiotic. It was like, it felt like they were like, well, we have an opportunity to have some nice diverse cast here, so let's push these movies through, even though we know they're going to tank. Shang-Chi merchandise has already been on clearance for weeks. Kids won't be clamoring for toys of characters they're not familiar with. It's like Marvel's Katie. Poor Katie, months of her movie hitting theaters and for Marvel Legends figures has already hit the clearance bin. Would be funny if there's a huge demand for her once Shang-Chi comes out. That's Katie from the movie. It would seem as Shang-Chi is destined to perform slightly better than Warner Brothers' recent release of The Squad, which only turned up $26 million at the box office last weekend against a $185 million budget. The difference is the movie simultaneously premiered on HBO Max. Shang-Chi isn't even getting a streaming release for 45 days. Nobody's going to watch it. Dude, I don't think people are going to wait 45 days. I guess Disney's hoping that what this means is more people will go to the theater as a test, but they're not gonna. Like, if you know Shang-Chi, you're gonna go see it. Yes, there are millions of Americans every week that just go to the movies. That's what they do. I did that. I was one of those people for many years. I saw lots of movies that couldn't care a lot. I was just like, oh, what's at the movies? We'll go see this, or we'll go see that. It was an opportunity to put my arm around the girl, have some popcorn and some icy and just chill for a couple hours. There's still a lot of people like that, just not as many as there once was. Phase 4 of the MCU is going to be a mixed bag. So far, movies have been underwhelming, but the Disney Plus series are proving fairly popular. People are actually excited for Moon Knight. Avengers Endgame might have signaled the end of Marvel movies being a must-see event. We knew this was going to happen. Maybe like Star Wars, the future of Marvel is on TV and not on the big screen. Good article from piratesandprincesses.net. I'd actually agree with that. I think that Marvel has a very bright future on Disney Plus as programming, but I don't see really any value in I don't see enough value coming out of Marvel to that would indicate would make me go to the movie theater. Now, I'm guessing the budget wasn't that bad for Shang-Chi. Yeah, nothing. $30 million. Wait, the film tallied more than $238 million in ticket sales on a budget of $30 million, making one of the highest romantic comedies ever made. What? No. The Marvel's Shang-Chi and the Ten Ring has the chance to become as successful as Black Panther was. They're talking about something else. Oh, Crazy Rich Asians. Yeah, okay. So this article from CNBC is like, oh, Asians will just buy anything with Asians in it. So this is going to be a massive success. I don't think so. I don't think Black Panther, Shang-Chi projected. Where is I wonder how Shang-Chi can make box office history. No, they've all changed their tunes on that. Shang-Chi and the Legend, maybe, if I put that in. No, it's not public, I guess, or it's not readily available. It's going to be interesting to see how it does. Are you interested for this movie? I don't have any skin in this game. I can live without seeing Shang-Chi, and I think a lot of people probably will agree. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.